At 4ZZZ, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we broadcast. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging of the Turrbal and Jagera people. We acknowledge that their sovereignty over this land was never ceded.
And we stand in solidarity with them.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, amplifying the trans and gender non-conforming voices of Brisbane and beyond.
Oh my goodness. Good morning, everyone. It's not your usual voice here on Transmission. My name is Jay, and I'm taking over the airwaves this morning. If you recognize me, you are recognizing me off No Idea. I was going to say the best show, but I feel like I shouldn't say that when I'm literally on air on another show. So one of the best shows, and they're all the best show on 4ZZZ, No Idea on Wednesday mornings. But I'm not talking science this morning. I'm talking Transness, taken over. Before I begin, though, I do want to acknowledge that we're broadcasting on stolen Aboriginal land. These have always been lands of music and lands of knowledge sharing and lands of transness, most of all. So I want to acknowledge the Jagera and Turrbal people whose land I'm on and any Indigenous listeners listening in. And I also want to extend my acknowledgement to any Palestinian friends and family listening in today. It is a rough time. And yeah, we stand in solidarity. All right.
Amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming community of Meanjin, Brisbane and beyond.
Transmission on 4ZZZ brings you the latest in trans community news, music and events.
Every Tuesday from 9am till 10am.
Join our team of hosts for an hour of celebrating the unique perspectives of the trans community.
Transmission, Tuesday mornings from 9am till 10am on 4ZZZ.
This is Transmission on 4ZZZ. It's your show for all things transgender. And right now, I'm here with one of my favourite transgenders.
Yeah!
Woohoo! Hi, Alex. How are you doing?
Hey, Jay. I'm doing pretty good. And I'm lucky enough to also be with one of my favourite transgenders.
Oh,
that's so nice. It's, I just struggled to think of any other transgender people. I think that's a terrible sign. I'm a terrible trans.
Oh, that's all right. Me too. You and me both.
Elliot Page, go on.
There we go, yes. Cool. Now, we're here, Alex, to talk about some of your music. You're with a new band since the last time I saw you.
Yes, I play in a band called Red Hill. It's spelt like the suburb of Brisbane, but we are a band that plays music instead of a suburb that houses people and has a cinema and more things.
How did you land on that name?
I personally am a huge fan of locality references. I wanted us to be called Princess Alexandra, but we've got a couple of butch lesbians in the band and they were like, no, too feminine. And I was like, okay. We threw out a couple of other names. Annalie Road is another one that I was like, that would be a sick band name. But we ended up going with Red Hill. Just because it's like it felt the most like timeless and sort of neutral. Like we'll put our own meaning onto it. But we thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, Red Hill, that could mean anything. But it's definitely consistently been like, oh, like the suburb. Like that's just sort of become what it is now.
Well, it doesn't help when your Instagram handle, what is it again?
Red Hill Band, not Suburb.
Yeah,
so, we're kind of asking for it there.
Yeah, a little bit. So tell me about this album release.
Yes, we're putting out a double release, so just two songs to start. They're called River and Paintbrush. River is like a folky little ditty that you might even hear on the radio later, I don't know. And Paintbrush is more of like an epic sort of psychedelic big rock song.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, both fun, both stuff we've just written in our first year of playing together. And recorded recently with our friend Emily Hopley at Airlock Studios. And yeah, they're coming out next week, so we're very excited for that.
That is very exciting. Do you have any plans for the release?
Yeah, we're doing a launch gig at the Bearded Lady on October 22nd with our friends Sectionals and Cat Flowers, which we're very excited for. You can find tickets at our aforementioned Instagram handle, Red Hill Band, not Suburb, if you're interested.
That's pretty awesome. And I have a little file here that I can press play on at any time. It could happen at any moment.
Who knows?
And this is a worldwide premiere.
It is, yeah. No one else has heard this song other than band members of Red Hill and my housemate Caitlin, who has heard it multiple times.
On Zeitgeist, on the show before us, they were talking about having a spin of an exclusive new track. But then it turned out it had been played before, so it wasn't really quite so exclusive. But I get to come in and be like, well, I'm doing it properly.
You're truly. And like, I might come in and say hi to some other 4ZZZ shows in the next week, and I might give them a little, oh yeah, you can play the song before it's released. But it won't be truly exclusive because we did it here first.
Yes, because we did it here first. Well, all right then. Let's have a listen to River.
What?
Like keys in the river, I'll swim, though I know I will shiver. Said I knew this town, I've been here forever. About to lose my place, but yours seems better. It's fine, I'm fine, you're fine. Lay this bit to rest.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, you are tuned in to 4ZZZ Transmission, the show where we talk about trans things. And that was just an absolutely wonderful experience, Alex.
Oh, thank you, Jay.
That was River by Red Hill, the band, not the Suburb.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an exclusive preview of their new track coming out this week, next week.
Next week, Thursday, October 19th.
That was really lovely. Tell me a little
you.
bit about that song.
Yeah, it was so Bess, who is the other guitarist and vocalist with myself, it was the first song that she made up a little guitar riff to it when we started the band, and then I came in and made up my guitar part. Then she wrote lyrics to the first verse, and then I wrote lyrics to the second verse. And so it was our first real nice collaboration as a duo and then as a whole band. And so we were like, oh, we've got to record this one. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you told me a little fact in the middle of while we were on air, which made me literally gasp. What was it?
Yeah, so very, very subtly in there, in like the bridge of the song, and then right at the very end, we've got not a voice recording, that sounds like I did it on my phone, but a little audio bite of the Brisbane River itself that I recorded just on a little microphone down like at the rocks near the Dutton Park Cemetery, like under the bridge to UQ. And we put that in the song because it's a song called River, and we live in Brisbane, and this is the only river we know. So
that is so beautiful. I don't know, I just love in like songs and in music where you really take that inspiration from sounds around you and that sort of thing. And like you said, with the whole like idea of keeping things local and having this real almost like a signature in a way of like tying it to the place that it was born. It's like really cute.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we were going for.
I love that. And we had a text in from Chris who said, would love to hear a song by Red Hill. Let's go. Well, we did.
Yeah.
And it was a brand new one.
Wow.
And if you want to text in your support, any messages, 0420 626 733 is the number. Come and have a chat to me. It's just me here in this studio and Alex for now. But we're just chilling. We're just vibing. Yeah. Alex, do you have any last messages for folks?
I guess the last messages would be if you like that music and you feel like hearing it live, we're playing a gig at the Bearded Lady on Sunday, October 22nd, and you would be so welcome to come down and check us out in person. And if not, I hope you have a lovely rest of your Tuesday morning. Is it Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
All right, Tuesday morning then. That's what I'm going to go for.
All right, awesome. Well,
my name is Georgie Stone, and you're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ.
You are listening to 4ZZZ. And on 4ZZZ, you are listening to Transmission. It's the show about all things transgender. This week it's just me. It's not your regular folks. I'm Jay, by the way. I usually do No Idea, talking all things science on Wednesday mornings. But right now I'm here. And we just listened to Alex from Red Hill, the band, not the Suburb. We had a chat about their upcoming release, and it was a lovely time. And I don't have much else planned for the rest of the hour, so we're just going to be vibing and chilling, talking some things that have been on my mind, because you're all a trapped audience and you have to listen to me, essentially. So lucky for you. I've been doing a lot of conversations recently with trans folks about healthcare. Obviously, it's a big and contentious issue, but I'm trying to remove it from this place over and over about just talking about, I don't know, access and who should and shouldn't have access and all these terrible, awful, and very like cis-centric discussions and framings of trans healthcare. I've been talking to some really awesome trans folks who work in this like very liberational space, who have been sharing some really interesting insights with me, and I just want to kind of like muse on those for a little bit. So one of the things I've had like really interesting conversations with folks with is about how so much of trans healthcare at the moment and in general is in some ways it's very linear and binary. This idea of you start at A and you want to end up at B, and this is the process to get there, which is not very true for a lot of trans people's experience. But also this idea that the end goal of transition is to not visibly appear as trans, which I think is really interesting. I'm not going to take credit for like these ideas, but I've never really thought of it that way, about this idea that so much of the way that we frame transness is about like how to get to quote unquote the other side of it and not be visibly trans. And if that's someone's personal goal, yeah, go for it. We love that. But it's interesting how much the medical field and like the medicalisation of transness assumes that goal and even encourages that goal for a lot of people. I don't know, just things I've been thinking about. Things that are like really interesting to me. I've been thinking a lot, and this one is sort of my own personal musings. I've been thinking a lot about what it would look like if we removed trans healthcare from like a really... I'm sorry, I've just got a text from someone saying that they're listening to me talk about this, and it's wonderful, and that they love everything that I have to say. I'm not going to read out the rest of that text, but thank you very much. It's nice to know that people are listening out here. I've been thinking about this idea of taking transness out of this really medicalized view. Like, what would trans healthcare look like if it wasn't something that we had to go to a doctor for and enter this really heavily clinicized, I don't know if that's a word, process? And what if transness was as simple as going to the corner store, or as one of my friends put it, going to the trans girl on the corner and picking up your estrogen? Just things to think about. I don't know. I think we tend to think about transness in this very, very heavily medical way, when transness is, I mean, obviously medicine is like such a cornerstone of it, and it's really important that we have that access. And these framings about how we currently talk about transition and gender and medicine are very important to be able to access that healthcare at all, because that's the only system that we have, and that's the only system that we know. So at the moment, the conversation that we have and the way that we frame it is really important, and I'm not saying that we should just like throw that out the window and stop fighting for that. But I also just like to think about this idea, of what it would look like if, I don't know, everyone could just play around with their hormones and like still access community care and information about our bodies and medicine and that sort of thing, but outside of that sort of framing, and think of it as more, it's just like a thing that we can all play around with. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts. Let me know what you think. You can text in 0420 626 733. Tell me I'm wrong, or tell me that I'm right and I'm great, or tell me that you love listening to my voice. All of those are acceptable.
Open Doors Youth Service is a South East Queensland support service for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and or intersex youth aged 12 to 24 and their families. Open Doors believes that all young people have the right to explore, experience and express their gender and sexuality in safe and supportive environments, and offers a range of programs and counselling services, as well as support services for parents of LGBTI youth and community education and training. For more information, visit their website at www.opendoors.net.au. Sponsors of 4ZZZ.
That's right. You're listening to 4ZZZ and you're listening to Transmission. My name's Jay. I'm taking over the airwaves for this morning. Another thing that I wanted to chat about while I'm here, while I have you captive as an audience, I haven't yet had the chance to recap any goings on in the ballroom space. So people who've followed me for a while, the real J fans out there, the real J fans out there know that I'm a member of the ballroom scene here. I'm a 007, which means I'm not in a house. I just like independently walk balls, and I'm not talking ballroom like, you know, gowns and all that stuff. I'm talking the queer dance culture pioneered by trans women, black trans women, Latina trans women in New York way back. And I perform in Vogue Femme, voguing, and Old Way, which is a kind of voguing as well, but it's much more structured. And we had our Alexander Ball, which is like the big main event for ballroom in Brisbane, in September, and it was really cute. It was such a really good time. I was like really frightened leading up to it because I haven't really been practicing this year, and I felt like I had a lot of pressure to do the best that I could to perform and show that this is like a culture that is so dear to my heart and has meant so much to me. And when you have that opportunity to get on stage and show that to people in your performance, it's a lot of pressure. But I had also just moved out of my home and moved in Annerley. That's where I'm living now. Sorry to dox myself. I just apologize to myself for doxing myself, but that's fine. And I just, really tried to channel that sense of like freedom I felt, transness I felt, and love that I felt for my community around me and for all of the trans and queer people watching. So yeah, I actually felt like really in touch with myself for the first time and like had a good vibe. I didn't do very well. Like, let's not get carried away. I didn't do very well, but I had lots of fun, and that's what's worth it. And I'm so excited to continue growing in that space. But one thing I wanted to bring it back to my ideas about healthcare, trans healthcare. So I am like a binary trans man. So I'm not non-binary. I align very, very strongly with like masculinity and maleness. Well, not masculinity so much. I think you could probably gather that from the way that I talk. But when we talk about like trans healthcare and this sort of thing, I was talking to a friend of mine who was talking about how much, especially like physical dysphoria, can be influenced by the people that we're around. And ballroom is a really interesting space for me because my personal experience and how I relate to my own body is that ballroom has been a really beautiful space for me because it's been the first place and the only place where the feminine attributes of my body are actually part of my maleness and the way that I perform as a male figure. That's what we call it, or butch king, which I kind of live for. That's the new-ish term that's like emerging for trans men, which I really love. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just find it really interesting because in that space, what matters to me and what I perform and what I bring to the stage really accentuates this like feminine body that I have, but in a way that I'm like, this is like maleness to me, and that's what everyone sees and everyone celebrates. And in fact, because ballroom is such a matriarchal culture that really emphasizes and prioritizes femininity, it almost makes me like more of a man in some weird way. Anyways, it's just interesting to me, and I'm so grateful for that space for giving me a place that I can feel so free and comfortable and free. I'd say it twice because it's worth saying it twice. And yeah, I don't know. I think like interrogate that within yourself. You know, I mean, I know on the other hand, in my workplace, which is quite a like binary place, I do feel like a lot of pressure to sort of butch up, I guess, so to speak. And that's still me too. That's still true to myself as well, and also an expression of myself. But it's just interesting how these things can be sort of influenced by the people we're around and like our social environments. And that's not to say at all that like physical transition or like surgery or whatever is like unnecessary if we just we're around the right people. That's garbage. I'm not saying that. But I just think it's interesting to think about these things. That's all. I don't have much longer on this show, which kind of sucks. I'm enjoying this. Are you guys enjoying this? I get the feeling you guys are enjoying this. I think everyone's really enjoying listening to me and my music. I forgot that I like love being the center of attention. So I'm really enjoying this space right now. But I don't have much longer on the airwaves.
How many genders are there?
I don't know. I just got here.
Thank you for joining me. It has been so much fun. I should do this more often. I should just be given free reign over the airwaves more often. I'm gonna, tune in next week. All right. Thank you so much for listening. This is 4ZZZ's Transmission, signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Transmission. See you next Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ.